price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters. Thank you guys for watching. I am your host, Afro Elite. I appreciate every single last one of you all for being here. We have much to discuss this evening because reparations, the conversation of reparations is actually starting to heat up. The conversation of reparations is going nationwide, and it is time for us as foundational Black Americans to make sure that we're at the front of it, to make sure that we control the conversation, to make sure that there's no trick, there's no booby traps, there is no setting a trap down the road, there is no inclusion, there is no sabotage going on as far as our claim for reparations. So this is what we are going to be making sure in the movement that we do not allow happening. I appreciate every single last one of you all for being with us this evening. We have very important business to discuss, and I will also open the phone lines up because we have to have a community conversation about this. All right. There is nothing else more serious than what we're doing right now. This is going to change the future. We're making history right now. So we need the community to lock in with this. Now, before we get all started and everything like that, as you guys are piling in the room, what I need for you guys to do is hit that like button. That's what I need for you guys to do. Make sure you subscribe to all of that. As you guys are doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the copyright disclaimer so it can be established that any and everything that we play during this live stream is under the guise of fair use. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so do you guys remember when Kathy Hochul, when we discussed this before, when Kathy Hochul signed a legislation to initiate a committee to study reparations, very similar to what was going on in California? Okay, it was essentially the same thing. So New York is kind of picking up off of where California left off, and we understand that. So we're going to do a review of that just so everybody can be clear of where exactly we are with this and how we all got here. So we're going to read a little bit into this. All right. This comes from ABC News. This is ABC News, and I want you guys to see the date. The date up here, this is December 2023. So this has been a little over a year. It's been like a year and a couple months now. It says, just a little bit, reading just a little bit. New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed legislation Tuesday to create new commission to study reparations and racial justice. Okay, so we already seeing some of the inclusive words. Okay, reparations and racial justice. Okay. Flag on the play, but let's continue. It says the state commission will be tasked with examining the legacy of slavery, subsequent discrimination against people of African descent, and the impact these forces continue to have in the present day. Okay, so we already kind of seeing like the subsequent discrimination against people of African descent. Here's the issue with that. There is a lot of people in this country now who have African descent, who are of African descent, who are not foundational Black American. You can be of African descent and not be an FBA. You're going to have a whole bunch of first, second, even third generation immigrants coming over here be all like, well, I mean, I am a descendant of Africa. I do have African descent. You're going to also have a whole bunch of Hispanics saying that they're of African descent. You're going to have a lot of people. You're going to have people like Elon Musk. Hold on, let's pause this for a second because I want you guys to feel me when I say this. You're going to have Elon Musk can claim that he is of African descent. Do you guys understand this? Do you understand how broad it is for you to say, well, we're going to discuss discrimination of people from African descent? that will literally put us in the back of the line. No, we are not trying to do that right now. Do we want anybody to be discriminated against? No. This is not legislation to end hardship. This is not legislation to end discrimination. This is legislation for a specific lineage of people who've been through a specific hardship, who've been through specific events that nobody else has been through. So we're going to focus on this problem with these people and their grievance. We're not going to focus on everybody of quote unquote African descent, however you guys describe that. All right. So we're already seeing when it was established. Now, mind you, this is a couple years ago when they already established, well, not a couple years ago, kind of like a year and so ago, when they already established that. I'm like, we not really rocking with that. Reading into it a little bit more, all right, it says the commission will be composed of 9 members, 3 appointed by the governor, handpicked. Now I wonder who the governor would pick. Handpicked. 3 appointed by the speaker of the state assembly, and 3 appointed by the president of the state senate. Okay. New York is at least the third state to create a commission to examine the impact of past and ongoing impacts of slavery. California established a task force in 2020, and Illinois established a similar commission. I'm still, keeping my eye out on the Illinois thing, but that they really kicking the can down the road. So then it goes into discussing all of the stuff going on in California and Illinois, but that's not what we're here for. All right. So now it's time for the commissions to start, and now people are going to start with the commissions and everything. What I am going to show you is people who are coming up, because the whole thing was like an hour something long. Not going to be able to play the whole thing, but there was a couple of speakers that we definitely need to get to break their speeches down. We definitely need to do that. All right. So I already played the copyright thing. Thank you guys for that. A lot of y'all piling in the room. Very, very important. Very, very good. Let's start off with this brother right here.
Prince. And then we'll have you, Mr. Carr. We just still need you to sign up, or if someone needs to bring me that paper. Divine Prince, and then Pamela Stewart Martinez can prepare herself.
Good afternoon, Commission. My name is Divine Prince. I'm the current president of the U.S. Freedmen Project. Where 2 years ago, right here in Albany, we made Black American history, teaching the only workshop educating the legislators and the public on how to get reparations correct and constitutionally sound. There seems to be some confusion about when we talk about who we are and where we came from. I want to be very, very clear. Those families whose ancestors were enslaved and emancipated in the United States of America are indigenous to the United States of America. By 1850, our families were multi-generational Americans. Though we have ancestry that goes back to the continent of Africa, it becomes a misnomer and a tool and term of erasure because everybody with melanin is African American in the United States of America. And so what has happened,
I don't like the way he started off by saying we're indigenous. That's good.
Is that this bill has become a racial justice bill, and racial justice is not reparations. And so we cannot talk about correcting harms when the bill inflicts another harm. And so after the event in Queens in December, Commissioner Lurie Daniel Favors did a public video where she talked about getting into the legislation, understanding it so you can know what the commission is responsible for and what the legislators are responsible for. So I did just that, even though we did that the entire time when we advocated for this bill to be vetoed so it could become constitutionally sound. And so in the duties portion of that bill, it does ask and implore that this commission study a race-based model. It also talks about assessing the harms done to society at large. Do you know who's a part of society at large? Non-Black people, non-enslaved people. And so this commission is tasked with studying harms for everybody. That's a universal program. But you know what else is in that bill? If we get down to number 8 of the duties, it implores this commission to investigate. It says recommend appropriate remedies.
Now, when he talks about, and this is why it's very important, brothers and sisters, this is why it is very imperative that we look through the fine print of all the details. Now, some of y'all, we've had a lot of new people subscribe as of late. Thank you guys for that. Some of you guys have been here with us for a while, for years even. Some of y'all know what this means. Some of y'all know what this means. Y'all know what a red pen means. Y'all already know. The ones who've been here, y'all know what red pen means. Okay, that means we about to get some straightening. Okay, because when it comes to reparations, I see he got that red pen energy. For y'all who don't understand what a red pen energy is, let me break this down for you guys. Let's put some pins. Thank you, Kyra. Let's put some pins in the chat room. We got to have this red pen energy. You know how when you're in school, back in middle school or whatever the case, and your teacher would mark off all the incorrect, she would circle all the incorrect things or underline all the incorrect things that you have on your paper or your assignment with a red pen, so you would know, okay, no, you're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to carry the one over here. That's what we doing with that. So we sit up there looking through everything like we're teachers and this is an assignment. We all like, no, okay, racial justice. What does that mean? No, ain't no racial justice. We marking everything red pen. That's what he's talking about. I'm going to let him get back to it. Thank you, guys. We got a lot of pins in the chat room. This is the energy that we need going forward. This is how we take control of the conversation. We look through everything and we see a little mistake right there. We don't sit up there and be like, oh, here comes the fix. Here we go. We're going to sit up there and circle that. Hey, right here. When you said racial justice, hey, scratch that out. You got to actually, how about we do this? I'm going to just put a big X on the thing and then you just start over. How about that? You just start over. That's the energy that we're having going forward with this. All right. Continue. Let's continue.
And appropriate, in my estimation, are, when it says appropriate laws are laws that can be passed. And if this commission does a race-based study and come up with race-based recommendations, those race-based recommendations will never become race-based laws because race-based laws are unconstitutional. The legislators understood that when we told them that the first time when we made Black American history 2 years ago, but they still decided to come together and put this commission in place based on race-based. So here's what I'm asking the commission today. If you understand now, because now it's public, that race-based recommendations that will become race-based laws are unconstitutional, are you going to side with the people and demand that this commission becomes lineage-based, or are you just going to tell us when it's over and done with that you were just following orders?
Thank you, Mr. Divine Prince.
And a shout out to him. See, that's what we're talking about. That's the thing we're talking about, is because they'll set the trick bag up way down the road. They'll put race-based somewhere in the thing, somewhere real far in a very small little print, way down in like the second, third page of it. And then when you looking through it, you know what I'm saying? You're looking through it and you seeing everything, and you seeing, okay, you're talking about slavery, they're talking about discrimination, they're talking about all of the injustices that we face, and you don't see the racial-based thing. And then when it comes down to legislation, they be all like, oh my God, it's race-based, there's nothing we can do. I'm sorry, guys. And then they deliberately do that because they understand that it's a little loophole that they'll never be able to overcome. They do that because they don't want to get through it. So that's why when you look through it and you be all like, hey, race-based and all that stuff, hey, scratch all that stuff out and let it be known publicly. I appreciate the fact that he let that be known publicly. Hey, we're not trying to do no race-based stuff. Everybody of quote-unquote African descent was not slaves. There was a certain amount of people, there's a certain lineage and ethnic group of people who were slaves in this country. These are the only people who need to be involved in this conversation. Everybody and their mama don't need to be involved in this conversation. This isn't let's fix the world reparations. This is slavery reparations. New York was a huge slave state. You owe a certain group of people something. Not everybody who came over here 2-3 years ago. Y'all don't owe them anything. And it would be wrong for you to give them anything. So we got to keep this red pen energy going forward. And speaking of red pen energy, we also have to watch out for people, because what they will do is they will have agents come up there, and they will have agents come up and try to sabotage what we got going forward. Okay, they'll have people come up and they'll have people crowbar other people into our reparations claim, into our legislation, into our policies, like this situation right here.
Martinez.
Hi, my name.
Stewart Martinez.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. And I said it. Come on now. The second I heard the last name Martinez, I said, "Oh, here we go." I just braced myself. I did. I braced myself. The second I heard Martinez, I said, "Here we go. Here we go." And I wasn't wrong.
Hi, my name is Pamela Stewart Martinez, and I want to thank you for the time that you're offering all of us today. I really appreciate that. In New York State, reparations can be used to address environmental injustices caused by historical and systemic.
First off, environmental injustices. Now, we all got our own priorities. Let's be clear with that. We all got our own priorities. Some people in the community, they really prioritize health, like super, that's their thing, that's their niche. They always talking about health and us being healthy and clinics and all of that stuff, and that's good and that's necessary. Other people are also talking about, you have some people who talk about education and school and all that stuff. That's good. That's necessary. You have other people talk about business and economics. That's good. That's necessary. These things are like side quests. These things are like, if you had a dish, that's not the main thing. Okay, that's not the steak. That's like the potatoes on the side. Okay, that's not the steak. That's the rice, or that's the asparagus. Those are the side things. Cash payments, that's the steak. Okay, you go to a restaurant, you don't sit up there and order potatoes and a steak. You order the steak and the potatoes. The steak comes first. Okay, that's what we talking about. All right, when you sit up there, you go to a restaurant, you get some chicken. Yeah, you get the chicken. Yeah, you might get some fries on the side. Yeah, the side order, that's cool and that's fine and that's dandy. What's the main thing though? The main thing is the chicken, or the main thing is the steak. That's the main thing. The main thing on the plate, the center of the plate. This is what makes the meal, not the chopped potatoes, not the broccoli, not the rice, not the asparagus, not the little pasta you got going on over here on that. It's not that. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot care about the environment. If you want to care about the environment, care about the environment. I guess that's cool. I guess we live in the environment. I guess whatever. That's the side thing. Right now, when we just starting off, no. We talk about the steak. Now, we going to get to the sides after we establish what the steak need to look like. Okay, whether that's a T-bone, whether that's a sirloin cut, whether you want a medium rare, you want a rare, you want a medium, you want a well done. No, we gonna establish this steak first. We gonna get the steak, the ounces and everything like that correct with the steak. Then you can talk about the potatoes and you can talk about this. You can talk about all that stuff after we get done with the steak. All of this, we really need to understand is the environment and everything like that, because you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of air pollution going on, and it's really bad for the skin. The skin breaks out all the time, and then black people have to go to the healthcare clinic so they can get some time. We're not talking about that. Okay. We are not talking about that. We talking about the steak right now. They call it a steak house, not a potato house. It's a steak house, not a asparagus house. It's a steak house, not a fry house. That's what it is. Okay? Come on now. Talk about the environment. I said, nah, we're going to get to that after we get to the check.
Can be used to address environmental injustices caused by historical and systematic racism, redlining, and industrial pollution that has disproportionately harmed Black folks, Indigenous people, and other marginalized communities as well.
Oh, did y'all hear that? First off, you said Black people, Indigenous people. You said that in two different ways, as if those are two different groups of people. So the way she framed it, she's referring to three groups of people. We're talking about reparations for slavery that happened to our group of people alone. And then she says Black people, Indigenous people, and other marginalized group. Look, hold on. Here we go. Other marginalized. Why? I don't know why you doing this. We've gone over this already, ma'am. Come on, Martinez. I don't know. Come on, marginalized. No. Why are you separating the Black and the Indigenous part? No. Okay. No, we don't like that. First off, you started off wrong when you started talking about the environment. So no, it's not that. It's not that. Okay. You're supposed to. I'm telling you, we keeping this red pen energy on their ass. I'm telling you that. Talking about some marginalized groups need environmental justice, and we'll call that reparations. The dominant society would love that. I want you guys to understand that. Oh, they would love that. They'd be all like, really? So all we got to do is clean a pipe and y'all are cool with that as reparations? Say less. Say less. We gonna replace this pipe real quick. And after we done, don't say nothing about no reparations. We gave y'all reparations. Okay. Y'all wanted a water filter. Say less. No, because that does not allow us to have ownership of anything, control of anything in the society. Is environment and all of that stuff, is that necessary? Is that cool? Is that great? Is that wonderful? It is. Okay. We love the environment. We do. We just do. That is second, or really third, to be honest, when it comes to our priority list. And you can already tell her priority list is messed up because you include a whole bunch of people who should be completely excluded from this entire conversation. So this is why when I heard the name Martinez, I'm like, oh, here we go. And she might be an Afro-Latino. She may be. She don't really look like one. She could be, but she don't really look like one. So it could also be the fact that she might be married to a Hispanic. So it could be either one of those two things. But I knew with that last name, I'm like, you don't sound like you FBA. Either you're not FBA or you married to a non-FBA. Either way, you are compromised.
What I would like to see is direct funding for environmental health cleanups. Many of the communities, especially in Harlem, South Bronx, and Brooklyn, have suffered from high levels of air pollution, lead poisoning, and in some cases, water contamination. And that's due to facilities like industrial facilities in our communities, highways cutting through our communities, such as the Cross Bronx Expressway. Reparations could help it by expanding green spaces in those communities, which would reduce diesel emissions, water infrastructure repairs in areas of aging lead pipes, which I'm not sure if a lot of you know this, but we have high numbers of Black children with lead poisoning in our communities, so that could help as well. And the Bronx.
Lord. That is not reparations. Okay. When the Japanese got their reparations, they didn't talk about no damn lead pipes. No. And I'm not even going to say what she's saying is not something that probably needs to be discussed, but it needs to be discussed in a completely different setting than this, because this is not reparations. This ain't what that is. No.
Bronx has some of the highest asthma rates in the country. We could use green filtration systems. We also, in our community, could benefit from climate resilience and disaster preparedness, from flooding and extreme heat. In our areas like the Rockaways and Red Hook, they struggle with flooding. And heat mitigation, oh my God, it's killing our community and it's causing so many health impacts. Okay, got one minute. I'm gonna try and hurry. Also, renewable energy, usually it excludes our community. We don't get the funding for the jobs and the training for the jobs, and we don't benefit from renewable energy with low cost to our energy bills. So we need to push for that as well. And hold on, I'm trying to find everything really quickly. Oh, and health centers for our community members who, because of these clusters and these issues with pollutants, are causing asthma, cancer clusters, lead poisoning. We need clinics to mitigate this in our community, and they need to be fully funded and top of the line. Also, if you need a consultant for environmental justice issues, please consider Peggy Shepard at We Act for Environmental Justice. Thank you.
What was that? What was that? Oh, ma'am, you got a big F. You got an F. See, this we not doing this. What we really need is fully funded community health clinics. No. So that means y'all get to handpick people that you guys are going to have to do a health clinic. How about this? Y'all give us the money. Y'all give us property or whatever the case is after that, because we got the steak first and then we get the sides and the drink and the dessert and all that stuff. So we getting everything in order. After we get that, then we can develop our own clinics and we can start doing that by ourselves. But we're sitting up there telling you guys what we want for reparations is for reparations for Black, Indigenous, and other marginalized people. Keep this in mind, is we want you guys to fund a health clinic. Do you know they sitting up there and they be all like, oh my God, yes, I will sign that today. Y'all just want a health clinic? That's all y'all wanted? Y'all could have just said that. I would have done that. Where do I sign? I will give y'all a bunch of health clinics. Where do I sign? I'm taking it down eventually, but where do I sign? No. Because let me ask you this. How beneficial would a health clinic be? Think about this for a second. How beneficial would a health clinic be if you put a health clinic in the community and then next thing you know, Black people get gentrified out of the community? With the health clinic that is reparations, how beneficial would that be? Because we don't have ownership, we don't have land, we don't have the capital to maintain our property. They're taking our property away from us. We'll put a health clinic, and that's a sick little joke that they'll do. I'll put a health clinic in there, and then I'll kick you out. How about that? And replace you with a bunch of immigrants. I'll replace you with a bunch of Hispanics, kick your ass out of there. But hey, y'all got y'all reparations. You said what you wanted. I gave you what you wanted. Don't come back for nothing else. No. You said you wanted a health clinic. I got you a health clinic. Now, I didn't say you was going to live next to the health clinic. You see? That's what they would do. Can you pass, I guess if you own it, but could you pass a health clinic down to your grandchildren? Not just your children, to your grandchildren. No, what would you be passing down? I'm asthma free, and as great as that is, I mean, nobody likes asthma, but as great as that is, what are you going to pass down? See, everybody else is talking about doing something or gaining something so they can pass something down. Even education, the benefit of education is so that you can obtain something to pass down. That's the whole benefit of it. That's the reason why people go to college and get a degree and get a job and everything like that, so they can eventually obtain something that can be passed down, because you can't pass a degree down. You can't pass a knowledge or even your income down, but you can use knowledge, income, and all of that to obtain something to pass down. So this is the whole thing, is that we are lacking in generational wealth because we're lacking in ownership. So we can't pass anything down. So we start from the beginning, every single generation. If you say what we want for reparations is not nothing really tangible, is not nothing that can build generational wealth, is not nothing that would give us ownership, is not nothing that we can pass down. What we want is, we want you to replace the lead pipes and everything like that. So, we don't have to buy the gallons of water. We can just use the tap water from the sink. What are you gonna pass down the tap water to your ancestors, to your descendants? You're going to pass down the tap water if you don't get gentrified out of the house, because you don't have the income and you don't have the wealth and resources to keep the house. So you might not have the house, and they might not be able to have the house or afford to even live there by the time you get ready to pass that down. But if they do, they will have clean tap water. How about that? Them, not just our people as foundational Black Americans, everybody and their mama, because you got them, and then you got all these marginalized groups of people. See, this is why we got to make sure that we are on point and on our game as far as all of that stuff is concerned. We need to make sure that we come in there and our standards got to be on point. We got to be looking at everything. We got to be all like, you know what, Black and then brown. Miss Martin, why did you put brown there? And I keep telling you about putting brown there. So X on that, okay. Marginalized groups of people, big circle on that, because I keep telling you about that marginalized. I keep telling you about that, and you keep doing it. Scrolling down, environmental justice. Question mark. What is environmental justice? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Now this might be a pet peeve for me. This is a pet peeve for me. But reparations, you capitalize the R for reparations. That's a pet peeve, and it's a lowercase r. So we're going to deduct 1 point. First off, let's be honest. You are already late. You know how when you're in school and you're supposed to turn in your homework, if you're like online, you're supposed to turn it in on Monday. You get it Friday, and you're supposed to turn it in on Monday. And if you turn it in on Tuesday, they're gonna deduct points. That's what we on. We sitting up there deducting points. First off, this is Tuesday. It's supposed to be there Monday, so we're deducting 5 points just because it's Tuesday. How many pages is this? This is only one. This is only one page. Only one page? I told you 2 pages. Okay, I'm going to deduct another 5 points. Did you cite your source? No, I don't see any sources cited here. Where's Dr. Claude Anderson in here? I don't see any sources cited. Deduct another 5 points. You're really messing up here. Okay, I don't even see the word lineage on here. Deducting another 5 points. Now you're just messing up. I don't understand. I'm just had to deduct it. Okay, Black. I also prefer if you capitalize the B with the word Black. Just capitalize the B. I'll deduct 1 point. We're deducting 1 point. You're supposed to capitalize the B. You're supposed to capitalize the R. Let me circle that. Okay. Brown, deduct 10 points. Okay. Marginalized, deduct 10 points. People of color, deduct 20 points. You know what? How about this? How about you stay after class? Because it seems like we're going to have to go through the basics. It just seems like we're going to have to go through the basics, because I'm just seeing you're failing this class, ma'am. It just seems like you're not understanding maybe you might have missed a chapter or so, because this is really the beginning. I don't know if you need to be in this classroom right now. I don't know if you're paying attention or falling asleep. Maybe you need to give me your phone, because I feel like I need to call your parents on this. Because I just don't understand. I mean, we've gone over these mistakes for the last few years, and you just keep on making it. So I just really don't understand. I don't want you to get expelled, but this is terrible work, okay? So we got to go back to the beginning, all right? How about we do that? See, that's the type of energy we on. We ain't playing these games. We letting it be known, this is what we want. This is what we want. This is what we don't want. We ain't making no exceptions. We deducting everything from their ass. We just sitting up there deducting. We don't mind if you fail. Oh, and we ain't. You want an extension? Sorry. We don't give y'all extensions no more, because every time we give you an extension, you always coming up short. So we're not doing no extensions. We're not curving no grades. There ain't no extra credit or nothing. Okay, we told you what we wanted. You're supposed to give us what we wanted. No, don't be asking about that. No. Your dog ate your homework? Okay, sure. Listen, when they try to blame the Republicans for messing up reparations, that's the same as my dog ate my homework. That's literally the same thing. But you gotta we just got a new dog, and he's not really trained like that. And my homework was the bag was open. But I had my bag open and everything like that. And I had my dog snacks next to the bag. So he was just eating. He was just tearing everything. He was hungry because I walked him, and he was just tearing everything up. And he accidentally ate I swear to God, I did everything. But my dog ate my homework. Okay. I do have a dog. I got a picture of my dog right here. Okay. And he ate my homework. You can see the paper little scraps on the floor. You can see it on the floor. Oh, no, we're not doing that. Your dog ate your homework. I'm not trying to hear no dog ate your homework. That's the same thing that they use when they talk about the Republicans. You got to understand. And then the filibuster and the Republicans blocked the bill. And no, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear it. You should have made 2 copies if you got a dumbass dog. You should have made 2 copies then. You should feed your dog so he wouldn't eat your damn homework. How about that? Okay, so we coming in with some straightening energy, just like this sister did right here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the commission and all the leadership for convening this. This conversation is really important. I want to use this time to share, 1, my story, 2, what reparations should look like, and 3, what reparations should not look like. Again, my name is Latoya Renee Benjamin. I'm born and raised in South Jamaica, Queens. My family is from the South, from Alabama, West Virginia, and North Carolina. I'm the first generation college graduate, very proud of that, and I'm very proud to be here. And I want to thank my mentor, Senator Sanders, for being steadfast in his work and advocating for the Black diaspora in New York. I want to share a couple of things. So 1, reparations, what it should look like, what it shouldn't look like. It shouldn't look like just social equity. I think we need to talk about addressing the debt that reparations needs to address. I saw Dr. Ron Daniels yesterday. I said, Dr. Ron Daniels, I'm ready to talk about cutting the check. And that's what we need to talk about, cut the check, right? Cash reparations, I want to start there. There has to be cash reparations. I'm hearing conversation about we're not owed cash reparations because how people are going to spend their money. I don't think that's nobody's business. I don't think that's nobody's business how I want to spend the money that's owed to my grandparents and my ancestors. So that's number 1. I think we have to be clear. We have to clarify the methodology that the commission is going to use to quantify who deserves reparations. I have my brother here who is African American. His parents were born in Africa. I think reparations for Africans looks different from Black Americans. I think we need to talk about that. I think there's a conversation of reparations globally as we talk about the international relations and how periphery nations have been colonized over centuries. We need to look at that. We have to also respect the term foundational Black Americans, which a lot of us, my generation, we are considering ourselves. We have to really, and it's not a hate group, but we do identify as foundational Black Americans. We are advocating with the census to make sure that we can get that as a title in the census. I would encourage us to work closely with the census so we could work on this data. We know this may be a generational fight. You may be the first commissioner, you may not be the last, right? So we need to put some key metrics in place to where succession plan, and after this, we can just have a framework. I have so much to say, but this time is just making me, confused. And then I think I wanted to say what it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like social equity programs. If we already have social equity programs and so-called DEI, we need to address that. We need to address the existing resources that's not helping our community. I don't think reparations is education. Education is already built into our state, and we need to find out why that's not being addressed and helping our community. Thank you.
Shout out to her for that, okay? Now, listen, let me tell you something. Let me break something down. A lot of people are not used to like going to a panel and speaking in front of a large group of people. It's very nerve-wracking for a lot of people, especially for a lot of people who are not normally used to public speaking like that. Okay, especially if you know there's a camera and you're gonna be on the internet and you kind of not used to that, and you only got 3 minutes, your heart start beating real fast, and you want to be articulate with what you got to say, but you don't want to forget, but you don't want to kind of be all emotional. So it can be a difficult thing, but I feel like she handled herself well. I don't know if she is used to that or does that or whatever the case is, but she handled herself well. She did say foundational Black American, and that's good. And it's good that we get up there and we start. It's about time that we start publicly letting that be known. That, hey, we're foundational Black American. We need to start saying that in public forums all the time, okay? It can't just be a thing on Twitter. Now we're starting to say that publicly. As far as global reparations or whatever the case is, as far as reparations for everybody in the world, you got different organizations talking about reparations for CARICOM, reparations for the Caribbean, reparations for this, reparations for that. That's different. See, the problem is, and here's my thing. I'm going to tell you my thing. I feel like reparations are owed to those people. They're just not our reparations. See, that's the thing. Yes, they were done wrong. Yes, reparations are owed to them. Yes, I want them to get their reparations. They're not our reparations, though. That's a whole different thing. They got a different claim. The problem is they keep trying to tie what they went through in their claim of reparations to our claim of reparations. And that's not the same thing. So we gotta let it be known. When y'all say African American, no, because then y'all allow somebody who came from Ethiopia, who came from Ghana, to be technically, I'm an African American. I am from Africa and I am an American, like Elon Musk. Hey, we gotta let it be known, okay? Now, mind you, you only got 3 minutes to really establish what you want and what you don't want, and it's good that she also established what reparations isn't. Reparations is not no DEI. Reparations is not affirmative action. Reparations is not a program or some type of thing where there's an oversight or overseer who's establishing some equity program for everybody and their mama to lift all ties and raise the boats of everything. No. Okay. I think she did very well, to be very honest. She did very well with the time she's gotten. And she was really the best speaker. If we're going to be 100% honest, she was really the best speaker out of everybody. Now you had the other lady over there, and she was sitting up there talking about economic reparations for Black and marginalized and indigenous and everybody who got a bad taste of tap water. No, that's not what we're on. She said check. Hey, we starting off with the check. She said, as far as what we're gonna do with it, ain't nobody's business what we're gonna do with it. That's not nobody's business. That was the best. Yeah. Besides that, yeah, that was the best. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was. Okay. Let's be honest. There was nothing wrong with it or whatever. The problem that if she would have included other groups of people in our stuff, it would have been problem. It would have been an issue. But as long as you acknowledge that we are different and our claims is different and they don't have a right to partake in our claims, then that's something that is fine. Now going forward, now we start to drop all that stuff off, all the other groups of people off. Okay. So that's what we need. That's the energy that we need going forward. All right. Something else happened. Okay. I think, yeah, she did okay. Did she do but did she like blow everybody's mind? Did she probably do as well as Dr. Claude Anderson would have done? Probably not. Okay. Is that her first time? Did she stand on business? Did she say FBA? Did she say we need a check? Yes, she did. All right. We need to now I want to show you something else. I want to go someplace else with it. All right. We're going to talk about Mike Gibson. All right. No more flat blackness. We don't, Lord have mercy. Okay, first off, let me be I'm gonna open up the phone lines real I am gonna open up the phone lines. Here's the thing. Let me be abundantly clear on where I stand with this. We do live in a global system of white supremacy that has colonized the entire world. They do have issues. Their issues are not our issues. I want justice for them. That is not the same thing that we are owed. We are owed something differently from what they are owed. Okay. I'm not going to deny the fact that they are owed things. They're just not owed what we are owed. And it is okay to acknowledge that they are owed things as long as we acknowledge the fact that they are not owed what we are owed. That is the proper way to go about things. That's the proper way to handle things. All right. All right, so let's continue with. We have, this is a part of the a California Legislative Black Caucus. This is a California Legislative Black Caucus member, okay, Mike Gibson. Now, if we can do a reminder of the reparations that the California Legislative Black Caucus sabotaged, we're going to pull this up just to do a good reminder of the fact that the California, and I keep having to do this because I want people who might be new, who might have forgot, I want people to remember this is what they did.
You need to bring the bills up now. These are their bills. They have their names on the bills. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Now, listen, they gonna see this and they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills, then they're gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Okay? We don't care.
We need to
bring the goddamn bills up now.
The governor needs to understand that the world is watching California, and this is going to have a direct impact on your friend Kamala Harris, who's running for president. This is going to have a direct impact.
And this is why she lost. So they were killing their bills, and the California, the black family in California, they actually pulled up on one of the members. Okay, I want you to see
Mike
right here.
Mike Gibson, where's our reparations? You block reparations for black people though. Where's our reparations? You got the February 21st to pass them bills though. Where's the reparations bill?
Oh, we gonna do it?
No, you got February 21st, put the reparation bill on the floor though. You blocked the reparations bill. You and the California Black Caucus blocked the reparations bill.
Each member of the Black Caucus.
Yep. You blocked the reparations bill. Yep, the California Legislative Black Caucus blocked the reparations bill. Yep.
One of my colleagues got their bill. I'm not carrying it.
Yep.
We want our check.
Yep.
Just like the Asians got. Just like the Jews got.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, you blocked the reparations.
This is the legacy that we need
Yep.
right now.
Yep, you blocked the reparations bill on October 1st though.
We not sorry.
We gonna be there if y'all not.
Yeah, we gonna be there if you don't pass the reparations bill.
Now, I want you to understand that this was taken like a week or so ago. That is tomorrow. The 21st is tomorrow. all right, where they were supposed to reintroduce the bill. Now, they said for whatever reason that the bill wasn't able to be introduced. They weren't able to introduce the bill. They got to fine-tune the bill. They never established what the issue was with the bill, but they just didn't introduce the bill. Now, by tomorrow, they need to introduce this bill, and you're seeing, Mike, this is good. Because this is letting it be known that the community has not forgotten the fact that you guys deliberately killed the bill. You guys deliberately fumbled the bill. We're not forgetting that. We have not forgotten that. You guys will be held accountable. We will be a damn dark cloud floating over your little bald ass head. We will be a dark cloud floating over you for the rest of your time in office if you guys don't do right by what you guys are supposed to be doing. He wanted to go out there and participate in a parade. No, it ain't safe for you. And I don't mean that in a physical sense. I just mean that in a metaphorical sense. We do not condone violence here. We do not condone violence. This channel, I myself, and nobody in this channel condones any violence. Let that be known. But back to what I was saying. Oh, it's not safe for you. Metaphorically. It's not safe. You ain't going to be able to come out there and enjoy yourself. We're not doing none of that. Where you want to shake hands and take pictures with the kids and everything like that. No, you getting essentially they're pressing you about these reparations. This is what we need. We need to control everything as far as the meetings. We need to show up there. We need to say what we need to say. We need to be clear and concise as far as that. Okay. And when it comes to these politicians, we need to make sure it recorded too. Let it be known that we're tracking you. We understand when it needs to be done. We let all of that stuff be known. I like the fact that they sent up there. They not.
Yep. You blocked the reparations bill. Yep. They count for unless they're Black Caucus block the reparations bill. Yep.
One of my colleagues got their bill. I'm not carrying.
Yep.
We want our check.
Yep.
Just like the Asians got. Just like the Jews got.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, you blocked the reparations.
This is the legacy that we need.
Yep.
Right now.
Yep, you blocked the reparations bill on October 1st, though.
We not sorry.
Yeah, we gonna be there if you don't pass the reparations bill on October 1st, though. Yep, you got an October 1st pass the reparations bill, Mike Gibson. We need.
Yep. It's going to be there. He's going to have an issue. It's going to be a problem. He's going to have a big problem, and he's not passing that bill yet. This is what we need. Okay? We need people who go out there, and we need people who are concise with what needs to happen, what the laws are and everything like that. The fact that he fumbled the bill, and this is the awkward part for all of them, which is what I love absolutely so very much, is the fact that we know who is responsible. We know it was Gavin Newsom, but we know you guys are the henchmen, the lackey, the pawns that allowed it to happen. So we're not going to sit up here and negotiate. Do you guys understand why we need this? Do you understand? And he's going to be like, yeah, I get it. Now, here's the thing. He tried to pass it off on his colleagues. That's the issue. Because all of the members of the CLBC, they all say, well, I wanted to do it. But it was my colleagues who didn't want to do it. And, you know, majority wins. Yeah, majority voted no against introducing the bill. But yet anytime you go to them, they say that they were for it. None of them are taking any accountability for saying that they didn't want to do it. Absolutely none of them. Okay? Somehow, majority of them voted against introducing the bill, but yet when you go to each one of them, all of them says, well, I did it. It was my colleagues. They don't want to name the colleagues, but it was my colleagues. That's like a child. For all of you all who have children, that's like a child. You come home and the chocolate cake is gone. Do you come home, the chocolate cake is gone? You ask the kid what happened to the chocolate cake. The kid got chocolate all over the kid's face, chocolate all over his hands, chocolate all over the place. And they be all like, I don't know what happened to the chocolate. I didn't eat it. I didn't touch the chocolate cake. It wasn't me. I don't know what happened. Ain't nobody else could have did it. The evidence is they're damn near red-handed, but it's not red-handed, it's chocolate-handed. And you're asking them, okay, did you eat the chocolate cake? I didn't do that. It wasn't me. That's what all of the members of the Black Caucus are saying. I voted yes. I wanted to do it. It was my colleagues. It was my colleagues. That's the same damn energy as my dog ate my homework. There's like a kid with chocolate. The kid could be chewing the chocolate cake. I didn't eat it. Yeah, you just swallowed the last bite of the chocolate cake. You think I'm stupid. You think I'm slow. I'm not. Every single member of the Black Caucus is sitting up there like, I wanted it. I did. I voted yes. I was advocating for it. I had my fist up and everything like that. But I was outvoted by my colleagues. And you know what I'm saying? Majority rules. You know, I got to play with the rules and everything. It's politics. But I promise you I will reintroduce. No. No. Absolutely not. Okay? Because if you don't want to name the colleagues, then I just have to just assume that you're one of the people who actually voted no. Because at this point, it was voted no, and ain't nobody trying to take any credit for the fact that it was voted no. Ain't none of you who voted no. Who voted no? Who ate the chocolate cake? The chocolate cake is gone. It's been eaten. All of y'all got chocolate on your hands, but ain't nobody ate the chocolate cake. It just ate itself, and y'all just happen to have chocolate cake all over your damn hands and fudge frosting or whatever on all over your face. You just happen to have all that stuff, but ain't nobody ate the chocolate cake. Let you tell it. So y'all didn't vote against it. Let the Black Caucus tell it. They didn't vote against it, but it was just voted against. Let them tell it. See, we're not playing that game. We get this red pen energy on them all the time. We letting it be known. Hey, every time they show up, see, this is the new era of foundational Black Americans, okay? Especially, and shout out to New York, because New York is really standing on business as far as showing these politicians what time it is. New York is really doing that. So when it comes to the hate crime law that's going on in New York, when it comes to the reparations committee that's going on, we letting it be known. Hey, y'all not able to just show up to an event and everything be all hunky-dory. We got some questions for you. We gonna need some answers, and you will be recorded too. It's not gonna be, well, he told me. No, you gonna be recorded. You said what? No, I need to quote you on that. So can you repeat that and be very clear and precise with exactly what you say? You said that again? Okay. All right. Okay. We letting it be known. We not playing with none of them. They say something wrong. Okay, deduct it, deduct that. No. And I need everybody in the community. Now, this is happening in California. The clip I showed you was in California. The clips I showed you before, that was in New York, okay? Letting this be known. This is a nationwide movement that everybody got to be a part of. Everybody got to back up, okay? I posted that on Twitter, or X. I call it Twitter. But I posted that on X. And some people are all like, how do I help? How do I help? Where you might be, I don't know where you are, but where you might be, there might not be a reparations committee or anything like that going on where you are. You can work to get that stuff established, because now that New York has one, after California has one, after Illinois has one, so these places are major places that have already set the precedent. So it's going to be easy for you if, let's say, you're in Tennessee, let's say you're in Texas, let's say you're in Louisiana, let's say you're in these places, you can use California, Illinois, and New York as a precedent to say, hey, we are owed reparations here too. We need a commission here too. We need to at least begin one. And if you guys are not having one, that's fine. How you can still help is every time you see a clip going viral in New York about reparations committee or California or Illinois or anything, you guys can do what you need to do to signal boost that. Signal boosting is very important too. That's one of the ways we won, or not we won, the couch won the election. Okay? Everybody, let's be honest, everybody wasn't in swing states. All right? But what we did in our states participated in the swing states. Illinois is not a swing state, but we made damn sure the noise that we made in Chicago circulated, and it affected all of the other swing states. Okay. So what we did in Chicago, it affected Georgia, it affected Michigan, it affected North Carolina, it affected all of these places. So this is what we need to do. So let me actually open up the phone lines, because I want to hear what you guys got to say about the situation, because we're gonna have to let it be known. And plus, I ain't open up the phone, and I like talking to y'all. I really do. So we're gonna have to let it be known that from here on out, that we standing on business, we showing up to anything and everything. We reading through the fine print. This ain't no race-based politician. This ain't no race-based. This ain't no everybody and their mama. Ain't no people of color. Ain't no mama. Ain't no nothing. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me set this up right. 5. Okay, hold on. I'm supposed to press that button. Okay, that's 9. Okay, 38481. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, here we go. We should be okay. We should be ready. So the phone line and let me put the number up here so you guys can understand, so you guys can know, because I haven't talked to y'all, and I do like talking to y'all. Okay, let's see. The number is 949-381-0044. That is 949-381-0044. Okay. It says, I don't know that there's a rural city in Alabama, but now as far as reparations committees and everything, it can't, all of that stuff can be started when you set up the precedent for reparations, because the precedent has already been set. It's going to be a much easier task for you guys to start that in your state. Okay. Now let me say some groundworks real quick. I don't necessarily mind, you expressing yourself. We do not condone violence. Please don't say anything like that. If you are, please make sure you can be heard. Don't be on Bluetooth or nothing like that, where the Bluetooth is janky. Don't be on speaker and you're across the room or whatever the case is. You can hear when you call in. You can hear all of the conversation. You can hear me. You can hear the other speakers. Don't be waiting on the TV, because there is a delay. So that way, when I call your name or when I say your number, you're going to wait for the TV, and you're going to be about a good 10. It's going to take a long time, 10, 15 seconds for you to hear me call your number. All right. Please be ready to speak when I call your number. All right. So let's start with this one. Hold on 1 second. Actually, don't say anything real quick. I made a mistake. Hold on. Let me make sure you guys can be heard. Okay. Caller from area code. What area code is this? Caller from area code 202. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Gene from DC. How are you, brother?
Gene, brother, how you feeling?
I'm feeling well. I see you're doing well too, brother. But I want to make this real short. The first young lady that got up there, sounds like she was speaking for reparations for her country. And it sounds like she's from the Dominican Republic. So she need to keep the problems that she had in her country. She need to go over there and face those. Don't come over here and tell us what we need to do or what we need for ours, because she have no idea. The second young lady, I want to say this to the family. Family, please, I'm not asking you to take your head off the swivel. It's great that you, because I've seen a lot of comments. It's great that we have our heads on the swivel, but we must understand the importance of why the young lady stated what she stated and how she stated. She didn't mention all those other groups to include them into our reparations. She did it in a way to exclude them while not ignoring their problems as well, and telling them, hey, we understand y'all have problems. We don't hate anyone, but y'all must deal with y'all and get what y'all deserve from who y'all deserve it from, and stop interrupting ours. And I'm going to land my plane, brother.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I feel like a lot of people are kind of like, they might, and I understand our paranoia when it comes to the conversation of any other group of people. I really do get that. And thank you, Gene, for even bringing that up, because clearly that was not her intent. Her intent clearly was to separate our situation from their situation. All right. But establishing that, they do have a situation, but that's not our situation. that was her intent with saying that. Her intent was not to advocate for them, or her intent was not to include them in what we got going on.
Right, and she made a lot of great points. I mean, when she bust open the door with, cut the check, and what we spend our money on is nobody else's damn business.
Mm-hmm.
I stand by that. Full stop. So I just want our family to, like I said, I don't want them to not be paranoid when it comes to, not be hypersensitive, but be very careful to listen to it carefully and then respond to it. We don't want to have a knee-jerk reaction to everything, because it makes stuff look a little bit repulsive, and that's just not what we are as people. We stay focused and we stay on our business, and that's what I want us to stay on. I'm gonna land my plane. I'm sorry, I know I said that first.
No, you're very clear, and I'm glad you said that. Thank you, brother.
Right.
I appreciate you. That's our good brother Gene. Shout out to Gene. Caller from area code 785. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Afro. This is Joan from Kansas.
How you doing, sister?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm enjoying the show this evening.
No, thank you.
I just wanted to be very brief, and I want to put a period behind that nonsense about whether or not we deserve cash payments. General Sherman's field order number 15 specified 40 acres, a mule, which was old Army mules because it was right after the Civil War, plus $100 in cash for each family, which was to be paid for seed money and tools and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So it was $100 in startup capital.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm glad that you bring that up, the $100 part, because most people skip that. Dr. Claude Anderson always makes sure he brings that up. The $100. Most people skip that. It wasn't just 40. It wasn't just 40 acres and a mule. There was also actual cash with that as well too. Dr. Claude Anderson always makes sure he brings that up. So I'm glad that you did.
Okay. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, we're not playing with these reparations. Let's get you caller from area code 818. You're on live. What is your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is No Limit Rich. I talked to you before. I told you about the reparations and the 40 acres and the mule and the $100. But the thing about it is the $100.
Can you where are you calling from though? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from California.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so the $100, I want everybody to know that in this time, it's not no $100. In this day and time, it's way more than $100. But that was back then. And back then, $100 was like $1 million. So you got to express that as well, because people looking at $100 like you can't even get you can't even put gas in a car for $100. No, we are talking about in real time, today's time. The $100 in today's time is some millions for us per person in the family. So let's get that straight. And another thing is they didn't start their reparations until we was over here talking about it. So then they came up with their plan. And, I don't like the way, they need to let us represent ourselves, because we know what we want. And nobody else can speak better than us, because each tub stand on its own. And that's all I want to say. I'm going to land my plane right there. Afro Elite, you're doing real good. Continue on doing it. They messed up the reparations march because they trying to do their own thing. And that's not fair. If we want to march and we want to do our protesting, they should not have to try to stop us to do it, because we have the right for freedom of expression as well. Thank you.
Absolutely.
What you got to say?
And you make a very good point, because you gotta count inflation. $100 in the 1800s and 1860s is not worth $100 in 2025. You know what I'm saying? So inflation is a big thing. It's been a long time. So that's a lot more money, you know, as far as the value of
Right. Exactly. And I just want people to understand that it ain't just no $100. That $100 is now $1 million or $2 million. So on that note, Afro Elite, keep doing your thing. Keep spreading the message out. You know what I'm saying? Because they listening.
Mm-hmm.
All power to the people.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me see. Let me get to the next caller. Try to get to the next caller. Okay. Caller from area code 304. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Afro. This is Miss Nisi, Charleston, West Virginia. I'm doing fine, baby. This is what I have to say. We as a people, we gonna make it do what it do. We will get the language straight. It's all or nothing. And when I mean all, I mean FBA, lineage-based reparation movement only. Everybody else got to stand on their own.
That's true. We're not out here trying to advocate.
We are not caping. We're not caping for others anymore. We're not caping for anybody else.
That's true.
The capes are gone. And we're standing on business 10 toes down and make no apologies for it.
That's true. Just the same way everybody else does with their people. It's just wrong when we do.
Exactly. Well, no. That guilt tripping and emotions ain't got nothing to do with dollars. Forget the cents. Dollars.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's about. The money. All right. Now, land my plane there. You be blessed, my baby.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Always good when
you
we
too.
Bye bye. You have a good one. Okay. All right. You're trying to see something. All right. Caller from area code 267. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Afro Elite. This is Curtis. I'm calling from Philadelphia.
Curtis from Philly. What's on your mind, brother?
I just want to say, like I said, congratulations again. Keep up the hard work, young brother. Well, I wanted to say, why every other race is trying to mind our business? You understand? I don't understand that, man. We need to start telling these people, listen, if you ain't from our lineage, you need to sit down and shut up. Cause this is a lineage you're talking about. You understand? And plus, we need our people like on the board. FBA's on the board, because these people that's on the board, they look like foreigners, man, and they don't understand our problems. They don't feel our pain and nothing like that, man. You understand? So that's all I got to say, brother. And like I said, Afro D, keep up the good work, brother. Like I said, you got people here in Philly, man, that's with you, okay? Especially me, okay?
Appreciate you, brother. I really do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. You have a good day. Okay, brother. Okay.
You too, brother.
Okay, bye.
All right. Have a good one. Okay. Now we're going to get to caller from area code 951. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Afro Elite. Nice to talk to you again, man. This is the Church of Black Power from California, out here in Houston.
What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, brother. I just wanted to say real quick, because it's just one of those situations where it needs to be said. One, no one should be including anybody's claim of reparations to our claim of reparations, even if you think you have a claim. Our claim came along with hundreds of years of fighting against the supremacists, fighting against every element against us. Everyone else's has come with the, okay, I will accept a certain type of racism to be here. And since now we're putting it to the forefront, now everybody is looking at us like, well, if they can get it, we can get it. No. Y'all work on your own. And it's getting to the point where I don't feel that any of us should be supporting anybody else's reparations claim because of the way that they're hostile towards ours. Now, that's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying everybody needs to do that. I'm saying at this point, I'm not supporting anybody's reparations claim but ours. And that's because of the way they treat us here in the country we built, the country we fought for to make sure that they'll be able to come over here and actually get, treated better than they would get treated in their own damn homeland. So with that being said, family, that's just me. I want to make it very clear that that's just my personal position. But I also want to say it's really, really interesting that everyone who claimed that we shouldn't be getting reparations, even with the Ayanna Presleys and things like that, who was telling us to be quiet about these things, now all of a sudden it's to the forefront. And we need to make sure people pay. If you really wanted to make sure people paid, they would have paid when you had 4 years of your president in office, the people you worked under. So now all this is for me, and all this is just literally just political theater. You're putting things front in order to make sure they fail so that you can say, well, look, we try to bring it forward for you guys, but those mean old Republicans, they didn't want nothing to do with it. Well, if you wanted that, you would have took care of that in the 4 years that you had the power. Really, in the first 2 years when you had really you had unchecked power. Just like with Obama he had a super majority in his first 2 years. Mm-hmm. So we ain't playing games at all, and I don't want to take up all your time.
I want to say, notice that they got a lot done, but what they got done ain't got nothing to do with reparations. As far as immigrants is concerned, as far as getting stuff for the Asian community is concerned, they was able to get a whole lot of stuff done in their first couple years. As far as reparations, you didn't see any progress getting made because of the Biden administration as far as reparations are concerned. But now that Biden is out of the way, now they want to talk about some reparations when y'all was quiet as church mice when Biden was in office about reparations. Y'all didn't even want to say the word reparations. Y'all didn't want to acknowledge reparations was ever a thing when you guys have absolute power, because for a fact you can't blame not getting it done on the Republicans. But now that you guys understand that, okay, we're not in power anymore, so we have an obstacle, or we have what appears to be an obstacle, so now we can act like we advocate for reparations. But when y'all had the opportunity, okay, when the zone was clear, y'all didn't want to bring reparations up in the conversation at all. It was about immigrants, it was about the Asians, it was about everything else.
And just like what they did with the California reparations thing with I think it's Isaac Bryant, where he was sitting there basically literally blocking Bill Assaley from bringing the bill to the floor for a vote. And then he comes back after this whole situation is over. Then he comes back trying to bring up a bill to give priority schooling or priority education to foundational Black Americans. No, we're not playing these games with you guys anymore. And salute to, Miss Nisi and everybody in the chat, Seven, everybody who stand on their necks. Because we're going from piece to piece to piece, letting people know, no matter, we rock with the people who rock with us. The new Black media represents the Black grassroots. It isn't some old funny style online situation. Oh, we don't see you nowhere. Yeah, look at Busta Rhymes and Fat Joe and tell us that you don't see us outside of the online spectrum. So much love to you, family. Like I said, if it ain't about our reparations, I don't give a damn about it. Everything else is to the wayside because it's us or nothing at this point in time. And they didn't prove that they're not there for us. They never have been there for us. and all they ever did was use us to be leashed off of. And I'll land there, family. Thank you for having me up, brother.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you for your call. Let me give a shout out to Francine for the cash up, and let me give a shout out to Darnell for your cash up. Thank you, family. I appreciate you, family. Let's get to the next caller here. Caller from area code 708. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling?
Hi, brother. My name is Terrence, calling from Chicago, Illinois, West Side.
What's going on? What's going on, brother?
All right, my brother. Brother, is there any way that we can actually get on applications foundational Black Americans? Because we have to distinguish ourselves from other groups now, even as far as being, federally, you know what I mean? And also, too, who are the people that determines the board members for the reparations? I mean, where does all this come from? Are we selecting these people to represent us?
Unfortunately not. That's not how it is. Now I'm not sure if Chicago is doing it the same way that California is doing it or New York is doing it, but you got some who are appointed by the governor and then some who are appointed by essentially the state senator, which is Congress, and then you got others who are appointed by the state senator and somebody else. So it depends on how many people are there. So with New York, you got 3. You got 9, I'm sorry, and you got 3 who are appointed by different positions. Essentially, they are handpicked.
Okay.
Right. So as far as getting, like, for instance, somebody we know from the grassroots up there, is unlikely that that's going to be able to happen. That's not we're not doomed just because of that, though. What we do, what we can do is make sure that we control where the conversation goes, like how they were doing in California, like how we can kind of see them doing in New York. We understand that our position, we can't get who we want up on the panel, up in the back room or whatever the case is. So we got to make sure we are 110% diligent in proofreading everything to make sure that everything that they talk about backs our agenda. You know, that's how we'll get that done.
Well, I still would like to know, is there any way that we can actually say, listen, but you see all these different names on applications, jobs, whatever it is, no matter what it is, would there be a section that we can have on there just saying that we are foundational Black Americans?
Let me get to your second question, because you said something about the OMB and Foundational Black Americans. What we're doing is really good, is because we're culturally allowing the word and making the term foundational Black Americans as far as our distinct lineage. We're letting that enter into the public lexicon. Okay, so it's not just something that we say online, it's not just something that we say to each other, it's being known in the public lexicon. I want you guys to keep in mind, when she said foundational Black American, nobody was all like, foundational Black American, what does that mean? I've never heard of foundational Black. Nobody was confused by that. Everybody in that entire room knew exactly what foundational Black American means. Anytime you hear foundational Black American, whether that's said on the Breakfast Club, whether Ann Coulter says that, whether that's said in some type of interview or radio, whether a politician says that, nobody is confused. Nobody's all like, FB found that. What? I've never, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Everybody knows what it means. But the thing is that they've been told from the top not to allow that word to enter into the public lexicon. That's why we have to let it be known. We got to say it openly. Okay, and let it be known. A foundational Black American, this is what we're referring to ourselves as henceforth. Okay, we're referring to our, even if they say African American, we correct them and we say foundational Black American. Now, as far as the OMB is concerned, we also got to be keeping track of where the OMB is as far as the designation, the designation and the classification of certain terms and stuff like that. So you do have some brothers and sisters who are like keeping track. Now, I'm not necessarily a part of the group of people who are doing that, so I might not be the best to tell you how that's going, but I do know that there are brothers and sisters who are making sure they're on top of that. So any type of reclassification from the OMB or any opportunity of reclassification from the OMB, you got brothers and sisters who are on top of making sure that we are distinct from any other ethnic group of people.
All right. Thanks a lot, brother. I appreciate your time, man. And I appreciate the show. We're going to keep pushing it, man. And especially in Chicago, got to make it happen. Thank you, brother. And have a good one, man. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, brother. See, that's our brother from Chicago. Yep. Thank you for that. Let's get to the next caller. Caller from Caller from area code 818.
Hey, Afro. I'm just calling back to let them know that we don't need no studies. Y'all, the studies that we got, y'all walking on them. Y'all walking on our studies every day. The White House is our studies. We already been studied, so we don't need no studies. So y'all, that's a part of putting us off. That's a part of neglecting us. Talking about we gonna do the studies. Y'all know what we've been through. Y'all done made movies about us and everything else. So y'all know more about us than we know about ourselves. So y'all know about the FDA, and we don't need no studies. So stop trying to put the banana in the. I can't even say it, just like you couldn't say it. Stop trying to put the banana in the tailpipe. It's not happening. We are FDA. We don't need no studies. You walking on the grounds of our studies. That's our studies right there, the ground you walk on. And I'm landing my plane. Amen. God bless.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. When it comes to a study, what are you studying? Studying the hardships or the harms of.
Yeah, what are you studying?
What does that? What really? If we really think about it, what does that mean? What does that mean? Y'all got a bunch of slave movies. Y'all came out with 12 Years a Slave, rules here, all of that stuff. Y'all know what that means. Y'all know how it still affects us today.
And then you know what really makes me live is that they send their puppets, to do it, to do the studies on our reparations, and they not even FBAs, so they don't even have the type of feelings and they don't have the energy we got. Put it like that, and they ain't us. They ain't like us either. So I just wanted to say that. That's why I came back in. This is No Limit, you know what I'm saying, Rich. And the reason why my name is No Limit Rich is because you got to put your words, manifest this stuff. And that's what we doing. We manifesting this. This is starting from the bottom, and now we here. That's all I got to say, Afro Elite. Keep doing this thing. I had to come back in and let everybody know we don't need no studies. They know it. They know who we are. They know who we are. And that's it. And that's all. And it is what it is. And I got to go. God bless you, Afro Elite. Keep doing this, man.
Thank you.
You're gonna be blessed.
Thank you.
You're gonna be blessed and attacked. But you know what I'm saying? We got to keep your back.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much.
Okay.
You have a good night.
Thank you too. All right. All power to us.
All right. Let's get you caller from area code 657. You're online. What is your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, yeah. Hey, what's up, Afro Elite? This is D from Cali. Yeah, see, what the Democrats try to do, bro, is they try to, open up the floodgates, man, and create a new voting bloc for the Democrat Party, and it blew up in their face, so they wouldn't have to address our Freedmen's compensation fee. So what they tried to do was, we're gonna put all these different melanated immigrants and LGBTQ rights people and liberal white folks, of the topic of the Democratic Party, and just overlook and use Black Americans as a catapult to strengthen their views and their priorities, and which is a total slap in the face and disrespect to Black Americans, shouldn't no Black American be up in arms for the Democratic Party because they're totally against Black Americans while using us and lying and faking and shaking with us. Shouldn't no other group or agency, which is the LGBTQ or liberals, be speaking up on nothing about reparations or freedom's conversation, right? In the public lexicon, we should all we should all get together and stay on 10 toes like we're doing, right? I listened to Nikki and Wani and them, and I got the Bureau's census information, and I clicked on it, right, Elite, and they said we would like your comment, and we like your email and your name and your phone number, and I guess the last 4 digits of your social security number. And I wrote in the comment that my ethnic is foundational Black American, and then they gave me a serial number code, like a little VIN number, and I screenshotted it. Now, I don't know, how I'm not specific on how that thing goes, or if it's going to register me as, one of the ones that's claiming that specific ethnic group. I don't know how it go. I got to get some more information from you or one of the guys. But yeah, man, what they tried to do, man, what they're trying to do is basically push us out of a Democratic Party, but they got stalemated by the Republican Party because all them other ethnic groups are not loyal to the Democratic Party. They're loyal to, their own rights and their own tangibles. If you're an immigrant and you've been here for 20 or 40 years and you got a little weight up or a little money up, they're going to ride with the Republican Party because a lot of those ethnic groups don't respect some of the illegal immigrants, even coming from their own race. We as foundational Black Americans, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, we should, all 48 or 43 million of us, to get on the census and not be labeled the term African American, either Black American. I'd rather the term foundational, FBA, on the census. So anytime we fill out any paperwork or any check mark our ethnic group, it should be FBA, separate from African American. I'll land with that, Elite. B1.
Black first, brother. And that's one thing that we are going to have to work on too, as far as even making sure that the word African American, the term African American, we're going to have to make sure that we divorce ourselves from that term. That term is just too ambiguous. That term could honestly just mean anything. And it does. And a lot of times it does mean it opens the door for a lot of people. Also, something else that they're doing that we definitely need to make sure that we put a stop to every time we hear it is they're somewhat acknowledging the people who are slaves. They're acknowledging slaves, but they're putting a little trick bag in there because they keep saying African descent, slaves of African descent. Okay. They're not. Now, there's arguments online or whatever about the indigenous and how indigenous we are, how many of us came from slavery. We don't even need to entertain that, okay? Because that's another conversation. But what we do need to understand is when you guys say African descent, that's not even necessary to say. Just talk about our lineage, because it seems like you keep trying to say African descent because there's a Trojan horse in that. There's a trick bag. There's a booby trap in the word when they say African descent, because Jamaicans are of African descent, Haitians are of African descent, Trinidadians are of African descent. Damn near everybody in the Caribbean, everybody in South America. You want to make an argument, Brazilians, all of them, they're of African descent. It's a lot of people who are not foundational Black American who are of African descent. So they keep saying that because them saying it publicly means that they're going to be able to introduce that as far as the legislation is concerned. So either two things are going to happen with that. Either it will transform and evolve and it will become a race-based policy, which is what the brother was talking about, Either it will become a race-based situation, which means ain't nobody getting anything. Either that, or it will become so broad and so spread out that everybody gets everything. And then essentially, if everybody gets everything, you might as well not have gotten anything, because everybody gets it. Everybody of quote unquote African descent, because those are the people who are discriminated against. So we got to make sure that this is airtight. We got to tighten up the language so much so that people understand that we're not even playing with the African descent thing. Y'all put a bad taste in our mouths as far as that is even concerned. So we're not even doing that, because we don't want to open up the door for a lawsuit, a racial lawsuit to come in. We also don't want to open up the door for everybody in the Caribbean, because then they don't have the same claims that we do. All right, they just don't. So yeah, we making sure that we keep this, like I said, we keep this red pen energy going forward all the way through. Okay, we're looking at all of the paperwork, we're looking at all of the files, we're looking at everything that's been said. We sitting up there circling everything. We're making sure everything is kept track of, not just in New York, but also in California, also in Illinois, and everywhere we are. And every time the conversation of reparations gets brought up, we make sure that we keep the rep in, we keep it in our ear, just like this. We ready for it every single time. We want to write stuff down. Okay, we're not even looking to make sure everything, we looking to make sure it ain't no flaws. If we don't see something we writing down with the red pen, we double checking, like, hold on, I ain't circled nothing yet. I guess maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I made a mistake by not circling something, because I just know you messed up somewhere. I just know you messed up somewhere. Let me go back, and maybe I overlooked your mistake. That's how much energy we putting in this red pen when it comes to our reparations. I'm telling y'all, we're not here to play no games. Okay, we are not here to play any games with none of them. Let me get to the next caller. We got caller from area code 919 on live. What is your name and where you calling from?
My name is Antonio Burnett, calling from North Carolina.
What's on your mind, brother?
Well, my brother, the thing about it is this right here, man. You know, we know that we got to keep the Democrats on their toes, and all they're doing now is just trying to pick us out. They're giving us the 21 pick out or whatever you call it, because all the thing why they bringing in people with African backgrounds and Caribbean backgrounds to talk about reparations for the FBAs, and on top of that, if they were serious about it, how much study did they need before they gave the Asians a hate crime bill and gave them $55 million reparations? And or how much study did they need when they brought in all the immigrants and were giving them free rent, free housing, helping them buy businesses, helping them buy cars, helping them buy homes? So how much of a study do they need? You know what I'm saying? Where's the study for that?
That's a good point. You know what I'm saying? And these cities, Chicago, New York, they're all going in debt. California, they're all going in debt, subsidizing them, taking care of them, putting into their economy. Okay. If anything, they should have been the ones needing to study, not us. Because they sending money overseas. We wouldn't even be doing that. We would be subsidizing the economy. And they send up there talking about a study for them. They don't ever need no study for nothing else, but only when it comes to us. Then hold on, now we need to pass this legislation. We need the votes to pass the legislation so we can have a study, so we can have a meeting, so we can have a luncheon, so we can have a vote. No, all that we going through too many damn steps here. Because ain't nobody else got to go through all those steps.
No doubt. And I want to make one more point. You know, what we need to do is get the FBA's is on business and go up there and start making citizens arrests for harboring fugitives and criminals in New York, Chicago, and California, and make a point and go start citizens arrest of them lawmakers and get them for harboring fugitives.
That's very true. Yeah. That's true.
Yep.
We need to make sure you get out, because they got to get out, and the faster the better, the sooner the better. They got to leave. Yeah. You know,
and even for the FBA that don't want to vote with them Republicans, hey man, we need to vote against them, the lawmakers, especially black ones that's in there now. We need to vote and get them out of there. I don't care who we put in there, because we ain't gained nothing from them. Don't worry about what people be asking me what Republicans do for you. I said, well, you've been voting Democrats 60 years. What they do for you?
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
yeah.
That's a good point. They
So
ain't
you
did
know,
nothing. They've actually held us back.
not,
We're gonna be honest. They've held
exactly,
us back for the longest
exactly.
time.
Just smiling in our face, stabbing us in the back. We know what Republicans about, so we can deal with that. You know, I'm just saying in general. So I appreciate it. I'm gonna land my plane there.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. And one thing about it, and that's not because we're a Republican, but the thing is that the Republicans are not known, and as racist as they are, and we're not Republican, we're not sitting up there caping for the GOP, but the Republicans are not known for giving all of the buffer classes a huge economic base. Now they don't have an issue when they get it, but they're not known for sitting up there throwing millions and millions of dollars away to all of these buffer classes like the Democrats do. The Democrats are known for doing that. So if we're gonna be honest, comparing apples to apples, we're better off fighting because we're gonna have to fight one regardless. We're gonna have to fight regardless. It's not like we're gonna vote our way out the fight. That's not gonna happen. But what we can do is we can even the playing field a little bit. We can have a fight that's less uphill. And let's be honest, it's more of an uphill fight when we're dealing with everybody and their mama coming over here. That's more of an uphill battle.
And all them tethers who a Caribbean person talking about what black people in America need when they can't even do nothing for their own country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they run from their country, and we over here fighting. We made it for them to come in. Then they come in, and they going against us. And yet they're the ones that got up on Capitol Hill speaking about our reparations.
Yeah.
That let you know, man, Democrats just playing games right now. What we need to do really is not even pay attention to the reparations. Don't even look at them. Don't even pay them. Let them know we're not even paying. We don't pay attention to y'all for 60 years. We know what y'all about. We ain't even paying attention to you no more. Now you put something in the legislation, and then we'll start listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ain't putting nothing in the legislation, we're not even listening to you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all gotta come with something in hand. Y'all gotta come with something in hand.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
And have a conversation with you.
Yeah, just know they can go get Reggie Jackson. He can keep hope alive, but we won't. You done killed all our hope. We know what to expect out of you. Nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Only thing you had us voting for was so you can bring all these other people over here and you try to make us fourth-class citizens. And they giving them houses, they giving them business loans, they giving them cars, they giving them jobs, and then they sit there and tell us we lazy. We need to pull ourselves up by the boots. And you bring in these people, you get them houses, you get them cars, you give them free rent, you give them checks every month, and then they sit there and holler, no more money for us, we lazy. But these companies that hire them won't even give us jobs. You're hiring them. That's why I hate when black people tell me how we don't want to work for this amount, that amount. Man, if you give me $2,400 a month in free rent, I'd be glad to work for $10 an hour.
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you
really,
don't
we
pay no bills. Mind you, another thing, when they commit crimes, they get let go. In Chicago and New York, all these places, because of the sanctuary city stuff, they don't get deported. They commit crimes. They can rob a jewelry store,
don't want to break their family up.
Macy's, and then they just get let back out in the street. They don't got to show back up to court or nothing like that. And that doesn't cut them off from any type of government programs or any type of government subsidies.
No, they do that for us. They let you know, and they the ones that do that. Look, Bill Clinton, right? Obama. Look at, you know what I'm saying? Obama, but look to me. They sit there and say what Obama did, but what he did was he brought in Latino judges, Supreme Court judges, and he brought in he gave them DACA, he gave them American rights, almost citizenship, so they can come in here and then tell us how lazy we are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to break up their family. You don't mind breaking up the black boys' family. You don't mind giving our 14, 15-year-old FBA's boys. You don't mind giving them rackles and fellas and keep them from jobs and everything. But you don't want to do that to the Latinos. I got you. You don't want to do that to the Asians. I got you. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's real, brother. And I appreciate that, my brother. I ain't gonna hold you up no more. We're gonna wrap some more. Trust me. I look at you all the time.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You do a wonderful job too.
I'm trying. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. We're gonna get to the next caller. Caller from area code 949. You're on live. What is your name and where you calling from?
Hey, brother Afro. This is Herc Owens. I'm out of Anaheim, California, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right, man. Yeah, we really appreciate your show, bro. Appreciate what you're doing for the community and how you're representing. Yeah, I just wanted to briefly comment on Ayanna Pressley with her shenanigans, how she's trying to finesse FBA people with this crappy HR 40, reintroducing this crappy HR 40 bill again, which is crap. All she has to do is call Sister Camila Moore, the reparations attorney, who was on the task force, the California Reparations Task Force, and she doesn't need to do a study because the Black Reparations Task Force in California did all of the research, and they have the ground. They actually have the schematics and the proof, the proof of all of the work that went into the research. So they have the blueprint as to how to go about to administer. First of all, establishing a bank for freedmen compensation. They had everything laid out. So Miss Ayanna Pressley is a fraud. She's insincere. She doesn't mean well by us FBA people, and she should be, her constituency should vote her out in the coming election, because she is a total fraud, and she's not sincere about granting reparations to African Americans. It's a finesse. It's a political performing, and she doesn't mean well. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say, brother.
Yeah. And that's a good point. That's a good point you make. Okay. As far as the study, if California spent 2 years collecting the data, aggregating the data, listening to different things, then I get California might be a little bit different from other places. But essentially, like you said, the blueprint, the template is already done. What needs to be done to repair, let's be honest, whether it's California, whether it's Illinois, whether it's New York, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's Texas, all 50 states, the cases might slightly be different, but overall the solution is going to be the same. You're still going to have to establish what I think it was like a committee, a Freedmen Bureau or something, so you can get people qualified, so you can verify people's qualification. You're still going to need the funding, so you can disperse the resources and you can give the resources to the people who qualify. So essentially, the medicine is going to be the same. So if they've already spent this much time doing it, why do every single commission act like we got to start from the very beginning? Y'all can just say, okay, well, they did it, so we can just kind of implement, maybe customize based off of our population numbers or state population numbers. We can tweak it a little bit, but essentially the blueprint right here, the medication is right here. We just need to up the dose a little bit. That's all you need to do. But yet they keep trying to kick the can down the road and start saying, okay, well, we need to start from the top. Okay, so first thing we need to do is we need to acknowledge that slavery was really, really bad. So how much was a little ball of cotton worth in 1832? Like we doing too much. We doing too much.
We're
wasting time.
Yeah. And the thing is that they get funds just like the California Reparations Task Force did. The Democrats in California got $12 million to play around with. Okay, so it's a money bag finesse. It's all about the money bag. And she saw what California did, and so she says, "Hey, we can do this too. You know, Congress can come together and we could basically put this fraudulent study up and get some money from it and spread it out, go for the money bag, and finesse these Negroes all over again.
Yep.
And so she knows what she's doing. She knows she basically sees the con job, and we need to just let her know. We need to flood her office. I know she's out of Massachusetts, but we need to basically she needs to hear from FBA for real, okay? Just like the Democrats heard this past voting cycle. You see, we need to let her know that you're going to lose your seat, and we're going to sit down. We're going to basically contact our FBA constituents in Massachusetts to get you out of office and sit down on you too if you don't stop playing with us, because we ain't here to play that no more. And you should know that by now, and just get her out of here, because all she's trying to do is finesse us and play us and really play us out. That's all she's trying to do. Play us, yeah, that's it. So with that, brother, again, I really appreciate what you're doing. Keep on keeping on, stay strong, and we with you, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, Herc. Appreciate
you. All right, peace.
All right. We're going to get to the next caller real quick. Before we do that, I want to give a shout out to the super chats. Shout out to Terrence. Terrence sends a $20 super chat saying reparations for descendants of chattel slavery, specific to foundational Black American freedmen. That's it. Very short and simple. Everybody understands that. There's no debate about it. When you say it like this, there's no debate. There's no, I don't know what that means, or why can't that say it just like that? Okay, specific to us. We're the only people who get it. Thank you very much. And then we have our sister Stephanie. Stephanie says, we are not a group. We are a lineage. No amount of word trickery will change that. None. There's no members of anything. There's no members, there's no leaders, there's no chapters, just like it wasn't with African American. Okay, you're either African American or you're not an African American. You're either an FBA or you're not an FBA. Okay, it ain't got nothing to do with you liking nobody, you disliking nobody. It ain't got nothing to do with that. There's a lot of FBAs that I like, there's a lot I don't like. They still FBA. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Nobody can tell you you are FBA because they like you or dislike you. Ain't no membership, ain't no meeting, ain't no nothing. So thank you very much for that, and send a very hefty super chat with that too, a whole 50. Appreciate you, Sister Stephanie. Let's get to the next caller. I think we did have a Cash App too from how do you send it? LaWay. Shout out to LaWay. Thank you, fam. Let's get to caller from area code 336. You're on live. What is your name? Where you're calling from?
Hi, my name is Alicia. I'm calling from Dallas, originally from North Carolina. I just have a question, actually. I'm kind of struggling. That's why I'm calling, actually. I need your opinion. I need your help. Okay. I have a boomer mother. She was born in 1959. She is a diehard Democrat. I mean, you cannot tell her Democrats did anything wrong. You cannot tell her anything. She thinks I'm a Trump supporter. That's how bad it is. She thinks I'm a Trump supporter because I don't agree with the things that she say. I let her know, hey, I'm not a supporter of any one of them, actually. There are two wings of the same bird. I don't respect the Democrats. I don't respect the Republicans. I'm an independent registered. She doesn't like that. We cannot have civil conversations about politics because anytime I put in my opinion, well, you know, this happened, because I actually watch more than the news. Just like people of my generation, we don't watch the mainstream news just to get our information. We watch independent news. We watch a whole bunch of other stuff, and we know more than they know.
Mm-hmm.
She's just so hard-headed, and she gets angry with me. whenever we talk politics. And I really hate that because I feel like politics is really tearing families apart. It is. And it's sad because I straight up tell her, the white, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can say white, but the translucent people,
you can.
The white people are tearing us apart. We can't come together because you are so brainwashed with all these years of feeling like the Democrats are on your side, when what have the Democrats really did for you? Not much of nothing. You're still in the same position where you were as long as I can remember. So I want to know how is it even possible for me to get through to her? I love talking to my mom. I live 1,000 miles away from her, so I pretty much talk to her every day or every other day.
Mm-hmm.
But it always devolves into a politic conversation because that's the world we live in. But then it always turns into an argument.
Yeah.
So I just need your opinion. I mean, what would you do in my situation? How should I handle it?
Well, honestly, and this is not easy for me to say this, honestly, the likelihood that that anybody is going to be able to change her is unlikely, especially considering the fact that you are her child and she's been this diehard about it. She's just going to assume that she knows more about it than you do, because she's going to assume that she grew up in an era that you didn't grow up in. She experienced things that you didn't experience. So she knows a part of racism and a part of life that you don't know. Most of these older people, the reason why they can't change is because they view themselves as have gone through the real racism, and they view racism as something that's gotten better and easier. So when we talk about racism, they're looking at it like, okay, y'all got the easy version of it, because essentially the system of white supremacy is kind of eased up off of them. And the system of white supremacy focuses more of its time and energy on the younger version, on the youth, right? So they're seeing it like, okay, well, before they were just openly calling us the N-word, and we weren't even allowed to go in these places, and we weren't even allowed to do this and that, and y'all get to do that. So we went through the hardship. So of course I know what you don't know. So unfortunately, and I got family members who are like that too. Unfortunately, the likelihood of that going on or whatever, of you changing her with that is unlikely. I would say this. I'm sure that there are some parts where you and her agree. Is there any part where she disagrees with the Democrats on anything, immigration, anything?
Immigration.
Immigration.
She agrees with immigration. Yeah.
Okay.
She does agree with that.
I would stick to, if
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Because there are some, I got family members who like that. They pretty much are Democrat die hard, but there's a couple of things that they disagree with. I would make sure that our conversation stays really rooted in the things that we agree with, as far as disliking things on the Democratic Party. You know, just establish yourself. Hey, I'm not a Republican. There's some things I agree with the Democrats on. There's some things I disagree with the Republicans on. But let's agree on those things. I think if you harp on the things that you agree on, she's not going to see it as you being ignorant. And that's kind of where your conversations are going to have to maintain. I would ask, and if she's an open-minded person, I'm not sure, but you would know her better than me. I would ask if, like,
well,
I would. If you
crazy.
Say, if you said,
if I could just say something really quick.
Go ahead.
As far as her being open-minded, she's open-minded on a lot of things. But then she's completely closed-minded on a lot. Like gay people, transsexuals, transgenders. She doesn't have a problem with that.
Okay.
She doesn't have a problem with that at all. And I appreciate her for that, because that shows me that you're not completely cold-hearted, you know? I mean, at least you have sympathy for somebody. But at the same time, again, immigrants, of course, she wants all of them out, which, you know, I could get that too. It's just she's so unpredictable. That's the word I want to say. Sometimes I think I could talk to her about something, but it's not the thing that I could talk about.
Unfortunately, like I said, unfortunately, that's not it. Here's the thing. If you want to trick them, and I'm not saying trick your mother, I'm not saying that. Okay, respect your parents. But if you want to give her something to think about this. And then after that, I'll say that, I'll end that. Think about it like this. Say this. If Donald Trump became a Democrat tomorrow, would you support Donald Trump because he's a Democrat? Nothing else changed. But instead of him being a Democrat, or let's say if JD Vance ran for president after Donald Trump, but JD Vance ran as a Democrat, nothing else changed. None of his principles, none of his ideologies, would you vote for him? And if she says no, then say, okay, well, it's not about the party then, because you wouldn't be supporting the party. And then you can lead into, okay, so if it's not about the party and it's about the politician, that's what I think. So me and you agree on that. So that might be something that she might have to marinate on.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Actually, I never thought about that.
Yeah, if you ask her that, she might think about it, and y'all might be able to have further conversations, and she might start seeing it a little differently. It's not a guarantee, and it's not likely that you're gonna change her, honestly, and that's unfortunate. But depending on how open-minded she is, you might be able to make some type of legway. Not a complete change, but some type of thing where you guys can at least respect each other's point of views and not argue. Because I hate to see families get broken up over politics.
I mean, it's so stupid because I'm level-headed, and I'm like, okay, you want to be a Democrat, diehard Democrat, they can't do no wrong, that's you. But then when I come with my opinion, I'm getting badgered. I'm like, yo, that's not fair because I'll let you say what you want to say, but now you want to come down on what I got to say.
That's true.
It's annoying.
But
and I live 1,000 miles away. Like I said, I live in Texas. She lives in North Carolina. And it's like gotten to the point where I don't even halfway want to talk to her sometimes because the conversation would be cool, but then something will happen. And now she's talking about Trump. Okay. Now she's talking about a whole lot of other things. And it's like, Lord Jesus. Here we go.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to. If you follow these steps, the situation is gonna take some time, but the situation will get better, sister. At least I hope so.
All right.
But
well, pray for me, please.
Thank you. I will.
All right.
You have a
all
good
right.
one.
Thank you for listening.
Of course. You have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Another thing, people saying in the chat room, let's be honest, Donald Trump was a Republican. When the Central Park 5 thing went on that they keep bring up, okay, well, he was a Republican when all that stuff was going on. I mean, he was a Democrat. Sorry. He was a Democrat when all that stuff was going on. So is it cool then? Because he was a Democrat when he was doing all that. Okay, so if the Democrats get a pass for everything, you would have to give them a pass for that. Caller from area code 424. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Afro. This is Dominique. I'm calling from Long Beach, California. I am social media superhero in the chat. And shout out to everybody in the chat. How are you doing this evening, young brother?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. How you doing?
Okay, cool. I'm doing fine. I called in with a message of encouragement for everybody and support. And look, the thing is, we're making victories out here every day. And I'm going to tell you something. We winning. And there's several ways you can tell. look, a few months ago, we dealt the Democrats a very, very deep blow, almost a death blow. And what's happening now, since we gave them the deep six, what we did, you see, now we put their opposition in, and they're being exposed every day. And I love it. I sit here and I laugh. They're being exposed about how much money they've been taking and wasting and sticking in their pockets. They're being exposed about how much money they've been giving our adversaries, all these immigrants, all these people like Democratic shields, like Roly-Poly Martin. They've been giving all these people money, and they've been basically funding the people who hate on us the most. So I'm loving every minute of seeing them exposed. And it's funny. It's real funny. So I want to tell people out there, all we got to do is stay on our square, keep being about that business, and just keep doing what we're doing. The thing is, we hear these Democrat shields and these tethers call in. I mean, they call in to your show. They call in to the brother, what's his name? Tariq, and they call in to the other guy, you know, not what's his name, Alpha, Black Alpha. They call in. I mean, they try to like call in and be all, you know, hating on us, but that's how we know we're winning, because they're mad. It's all from anger. They're mad, and I love it. So I just want to tell my brothers and sisters, when you hear that happening, when you hear these Democrat shields and these suspected WSs and these tethers call in and they're hating real hard, just, you know, just sit back and laugh and listen to, because I used to get upset when they do that, but don't get upset. Just know that we're winning. That's why they're doing that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of all I wanted to say was just Afro. Just everybody, just stay on our square. Keep doing what we're doing. Support brothers like Afro and, you know, all these other people, man. And let's just do this. We're gonna get our reparations, y'all. We're going to.
That's true. Oh yeah, thank you very much, brother. And that's the thing is that
all right,
winners just naturally don't troll. Why would a winner troll? Winners don't troll. Winners don't. I mean, yeah, winners do. I guess they, you know, they talk, they mess, or whatever the case is. But winners aren't mad. Winners don't troll. Winners don't think about the losers. The losers think about the winners. That's just the way that works.
That's right.
So for the fact that they're calling in and they're mad and they're snapping off and they're calling us out our names, why would you do that if you're winning? If you're in the winning position, you care about the quote unquote losers, the quote unquote people who don't matter. We're inconsequential, but we live rent free in your head. How does that work? So yeah, it's verification that we are winning. You're 100% right.
Right. And the tethers, like, you know, these people that call in and like to hate on us and do all that stuff, they're mad because their day is coming. See, the Democrat shields are mad because they're getting dealt out right now. It's happening in real time. And these tethers, their day is coming. It's coming soon. And I'm going to love every minute of it. So anyway, I'm going to land my plane with that. And brother, you have a good night. And everybody in the chat, shout out again. All my brothers and sisters, love y'all. And we landing right there.
That's true. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you, brother. All right. Caller from area code 951. You're on live. What is your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Brother Elite, one more time. This is the Church of Black Power. And I promise you, I understand one call per time. I'm going to abide by that. But I felt it necessary to come back up and speak to the sister who called up about her mother and the situations between her and basically her mother not accepting truth in the fights that they get into. I truly want to say this. You don't have to, but keep the information going. And the reason why I say this is because literally a lot of the times when our parents are getting information from us, some of the times we have to keep hammering into their heads because 9 times out of 10, someone else that they trust in their own age bracket may come with the same information, and then they will come back and apologize to you. And I've seen this happen personally. For example, my father, he was a diehard Christian. I grew up in the church. My whole family had churches, things like that. So that's why. When I started stepping away from Christianity, I have studied the Bible front to back. And so even though I stepped away from Christianity, my father, he remained a Christian. He's still, and to this day, he's within the Christian church. So we was having a conversation, and one day I was telling him about, I don't really subscribe to, different denominations because the Bible says that we're all gods, all children of the Most High. And he was like, that's a lie. There's only one God. This, that, and the third. And I told him, Psalms 82, verse 6, you have to be able to interpret these things. And again, he did not believe me. This went on for about 3 weeks. And then first Sunday, he ended up going to church. And this was an Easter Sunday. And this is why it's so prophetic for me. It was so great because he ended up going to church and he ended up talking to his pastor about me. And he was telling him, I tried to bring my son in, but, he don't want to listen to me. He believes that we are all gods and this, that, and the third. And it was his pastor that told him, he's actually correct. And so ever since then, whenever I speak to my father about anything, he'll take time and he'll research it before going off on me and acting as if I'm not bringing forth or I'm bringing shame on our family when I'm bringing this information forward. So all I'm saying to everyone out there, continue to drop those jewels, drop the seeds, because here's the thing with people. Not every person waters the seed that's dropped in their garden, but enough of them do. And if you don't continue to drop those seeds, I guarantee you, they'll forget about it, and the universe will too. But if you continue to drop those seeds, I guarantee you the universe will make sure that someone comes back and water that seed sometime around. And that's all I came up for. I appreciate you for having me back up, my brother. Have a beautiful
night. Brother. Thank you. And let me expound on that for a sec. Hold on, let me get to the other caller. Thank you, brother. Let me say something about that. And Hurricane is 100% correct. Okay, we own less than 30 likes and we got 600 likes. All we need is 27 likes. We got more than 27 people in the chat room, I'm very sure, who have not liked. Let's get those likes up so we can have over 600 likes. All right. Unfortunately, we have to understand the difference, and we have to understand how much things have changed in such a short amount of time. We, as the millennials and then the Gen X, I think it was Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, we get our sources of information very differently. The boomers, they only had very limited amount of information that they can get. I'm gonna get to the next caller. I see you. They had very limited information. Their sources of information were very maintained and controlled and confined. So they were only getting information if it was in a newspaper. That's the only, they weren't able to Google anything. They weren't able to research. If they had to do any research, they would have to actually go to the library, ask to look up some of the articles and the archives if they did have some, and do research that way. It was much more difficult to get research done on the background of somebody, on the on legislation, on a politician, on the history of certain things. If you didn't have it on you in your home, which is why a lot of our ancestors used to keep that stuff, because if you didn't have it with you, the odds of you being able to find it was very difficult, because it wasn't as digital. Everything wasn't as digital. Now, if I can look up a news source from CNN, I can also look it up from Fox. So CNN might leave out some things, but Fox might include it, or Fox might leave out some things, but CNN might include it. So I'm getting the same information from different sources. So our generation has a very much more broader sense of being able to research than they do. They have, well, I looked at it from the news, whatever the news say, okay, that's the facts, that's what happened. We look at things from the news, and then we can also look at things from Google, and then we can also look at things from TikTok, and then we can also look at things from YouTube. We have the ability and really the privilege of having access to different perspectives and then different sources of information. And we can follow that up with different things. So we're way more informed than our grandparents and the baby boomers are. Unfortunately, they don't see it that way. They see themselves as have gone through the hardship, like our brother was saying. They see themselves as the older people, the older generation just knows more. We've lived a longer life than you guys. We've lived things that you guys haven't lived through. We know what we're talking about. You guys are just learning what you're talking about. So they still view us as that teenager that thinks they know everything but doesn't know everything, and that we got a lot longer to go. They kind of can't see us as knowing more than they do. A lot of them can't, especially when it comes to politics. So that's why it's an uphill battle when it comes to that. So they'll be more likely to listen to someone in their age bracket than listening to us. Okay, because we're young and naive and have not experienced what they've experienced. So that's kind of what the brother was talking about with his father. And I don't want to get too long into that because I do want to get to this other caller. Caller from area code 803. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Jenny, and this is a great discussion. I just wanted to, point out, I was listening to President
where are you
Trump.
calling from? Where are you calling from? Hold on, sister.
I'm calling from South Carolina.
Okay. Okay. What's on your mind?
Okay, I was listening to President Trump, and he was, for the Black History Month, he was with the HUD secretary, and they were talking about, building a statue in a statue park for Black History Month. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what makes them think that we need another statue? We don't. And then you have these, these Black people in the room, and they cheering, which is not a representation of us. But it's just getting so annoying that they think this little of us, that they continue to think that we want a statue and not reparations. At what point do we stand before them in one collective voice and say, stop the madness? We don't want that mess anymore. We have enough statues. We just want our reparation. And to listen to the numbers of the amount of money that they're saying that they have spent on the immigrants and all this wasteful money, it makes me sick to think that they got all that money and we have not gotten anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to ask Black people, please, let's have an odyssey and an ear to hear and get on one accord, because this is becoming foolish.
Yeah.
And that's all I want to say, and I'll yield.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a good point. As far as when it comes to statues, when it comes to any type of symbolism, when it comes to statues, when it comes to a Juneteenth holiday, when it comes to a hip hop history month or a hip hop party, when it comes to all of these things, we have to let that be known that symbolism is actually offensive to us. It might not have used to be offensive to baby boomers and all of them. They used to love symbolism because they used to see symbolism as recognition, and it would somehow it would help their self-esteem, because they believed in the past. And the reason why I used to work is because they believed in the past that recognition will eventually start allowing society to accept us in the mistreatment of us. If society would recognize us, our mistreatment would stop. Okay, we understand the system of white supremacy better than that. We understand our mistreatment is not due to a lack of recognition. Okay, we're very recognized. We're the most watched and monitored group of people ever.
Yep.
Okay, so that's not where the problem is. Okay, so now we're not even looking for recognition. We're not looking for a black face in a high place. We don't get starstruck when we see. We're not even on that type of page.
We want cut the check. We want cut the check.
Exactly.
That's all we want to hear is cut the check. Other than that, I'm so sick of black people. Them getting a small group of black people and acting like that's a representation of us. It's becoming so annoying and sickening, and the amount of money that they are spending and then not even taking us serious enough, it's making me nauseous. And I just don't want to hear it no more. I want us to just stand up. I mean, we don't have to be on one accord on everything, but with that, we got to be. And I yield, and y'all have a blessed night.
Thank you, sister. Thank you.
Oh, good night.
Thank you. You too. You know, I think we'll wrap the calls in. Calls up for right there. I think that was a decent amount of calls we had. That was a fair amount of calls. But yeah, to be honest, that's 100% the truth. As far as any type of the acceptance, we don't necessarily want acceptance from them. We don't. Okay. Before, they used to see it as we can force, which is why you had, and it was such a sad commentary, to be honest, but we have to reflect on it. It's Black History Month. Let me get this off screen. It's Black History Month, so you got to reflect on it in order to expect anything to get better. Before, we used to have sit-ins. We used to want to force ourselves in their domain because we was all like, okay, you can mistreat us like this because you don't recognize us as people. So we will force you guys to recognize us. We will force you guys to recognize us. And then that will psychologically change the way you view us. And then, of course, the result of that is you won't be able to mistreat us. We believed that their lack of conscience when it comes to mistreating us is because of their lack of recognizing our personhood or our peoplehood. And it is because of that. But the reason why they refuse to recognize our humanity is not because we are not acknowledged by them. We are very acknowledged by them. They don't ignore us at all. We are always monitored by them. Our business is always supervised, and our business is always monitored, and we're always watched by them. The reason, okay, that they mistreat us and they suppress our conscience is because they understand that it's us against them. They suppress our conscience because they believe that our oppression is for their greater good. It's not our oppression, and this is why we got to understand what white supremacy is. They believe in the system of white supremacy that the oppression and subjugation of Black people is for the better good of the white community. It's for the better good of making sure that they stay on top. So that's the difference. When we didn't understand, we used to think, okay, well, they can oppress us and subjugate us because they don't recognize us as human beings. No, it's not because that we are ignored to the degree where they don't mind us and they don't see it as bad. No, they see it as bad. They see it, but what kind of calms their conscience down is not because we're not friends enough with them. It's not because they don't recognize us as people. It's not because we're so distant from them. That's what we used to think. Oh, we're just so distant from them that they can harm us and their conscience won't affect them because we're so distant from them. That's not the problem. The problem is not the distance or the closeness to it. It's not the proximity. The problem and the reason why they can suppress their conscience is because they believe that what happens to us is for the greater good of themselves and their race as a collective. That our subjugation is necessary for their empowerment. That's what they believe. That's what when it comes to and Dr. Francis, Dr. Francis Cress Welston talks about this in the ISIS papers. That they believe that because they have a intrinsic fear of genetic annihilation. So they believe it's 100% necessary. It is necessary in order for them to survive. That's why, because our empowerment is a threat to them. So that's what they have to do. That's why they have to do it like that. That's why they have to think that way, which is wrong. It's a wrong way to think. Okay, it's a demonic and sick way to think, but that's what they believe, and it's just so sick, but it is true. And in order for us to acknowledge where we need to go, we need to acknowledge how they think. So when we acknowledge how they think, we can also acknowledge, okay, so we don't need proximity to them. That's clearly not the solution, to sit in and say, I'm not leaving, I'm going to eat at your restaurant. That's not the solution, to force ourselves in their spaces and to force ourselves in their stores and to force ourselves in their neighborhoods and to force this relationship. That's not the solution. Okay. We understand essentially they have like a disease, a sickness, because of how they view themselves and how they view their humanity. That's not our problem, and it's not our responsibility to fix them. But how do we repair ourselves? We repair ourselves by saying, hey, y'all deal with whatever type of insecurity and fragile mindset that y'all have, but come up off them resources though. Yeah, y'all can do that. Y'all, if y'all want to be by yourselves in your little enclaves and caves or whatever the case is, y'all do what y'all got to do. But you gonna have to come up off them resources because those are mine. That's what's gonna have to happen. That's where the world is right now. I want to give a shout out to Helping Hand for the Cash App. Thank you so very much, Helping Hand. I appreciate you. I really do. Also, I want to say tomorrow, and it took us a long time for us to get this developed. It took us a long time. But tomorrow, my brothers and sisters, my ladies and gentlemen, we have the new episode of For the Culture coming out tomorrow. For the Culture is coming out tomorrow. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be on the For the Culture channel. And I need every single last one of you guys to go make sure that you guys like that. Let me put the link to that actually in the chat room. Go make sure that you guys like that. Go make sure that you guys get ready for that. It took us a lot of work. We got a lot of pre-likes already. We can have 100 pre-likes before tomorrow, before we even premiere. We can already have 100 pre-likes. We can already have that ready. So let's get the ball rolling on that. I discussed before what the For the Culture vision, the ultimate in-game vision of the For the Culture is supposed to be about. We're starting off trying to essentially get our basis in the foundation of that. But I want you to think something way bigger, way grander, way more beneficial, not just for our generation, but for the next generation. We want something that can be a thing nationwide that we can pass down, essentially, that we own. Dr. Clyde Anderson is always talking about ownership. Okay, we want something that can be owned by us, that can actually be passed down, that can benefit nationwide. And hell, at a certain point in time, we can use this and we can start empowering you. So we can start hiring other people. This can become an empire. This is what the vision is. But it's got to start somewhere. Every empire has got to always start somewhere. So this is where we're starting this off with. And it's been a struggle, to put lightly, for us to get this done. It's been an adventure, to put that lightly, for us to get this done. But we're getting it done regardless. We're not letting any obstacle, any barrier, any hurdle get in our way and stop us from what we're doing. So I appreciate all of you all. Y'all are already saying you liked, you subscribed, you pre-liked, all of that stuff. Thank you so very much. I also want to get to the other Cash App, the super chat, from Booming Black Economy. He says, with a 1999 super chat, says, so many baby boomers and others don't know or won't research how Democrats have betrayed FBA. They don't, and the reason why, honestly, and that's true, because at this point in time, let's be honest, the Democrats' betrayal and their hatred of black people is so abundantly clear. It is so abundantly clear that the only reason why a black person can still be so gun-ho on the Democratic Party is two reasons. Is either as a baby boomer, you really are just stuck in your ways as like a Stockholm syndrome. It's a Stockholm syndrome. You literally feel as if it is this or nothing. That you're so psychologically programmed that you have Stockholm syndrome with the Democratic Party. Okay, you cling on to the good times and what can be, so much so that you ignore all of the harm and all of the bad times, which overlap and overshadow and are more frequent than the good times. That, or option B, where you have some other alternative agenda that is not a black agenda. Like if you are from an immigrant background, you get maybe some LGBT agenda or something like that. You got some other alternative agenda that the Democratic Party is pushing, that okay, well, my black agenda, that takes second place to what this other agenda is. So that's why you see a lot of tethers and all of that stuff. They cling on or they advocate for the Democratic Party. You might have a feminist agenda or whatever the case is, but there is some other agenda that you won't admit to, but it overlaps that black agenda. So you have those things. All right. And then sometimes and those are the Democrat, those are the baby boomers. But going into the younger generation, we can go into that for a minute. But that's the thing. That's the thing. They'll say, well, Stockholm. So anytime you say something bad about that, they'll say, okay, well, yeah, but you got to understand that, ain't nobody perfect, but we only have a two-party system. And who you going to vote for? You going to vote for Trump? You going to vote for Trump? Trump don't like black. So it comes into that. It comes into this deflective thing. Okay. It's a Stockholm thing. That if you say, well, they're abusing you, okay, well, yeah, we argue sometimes, but you know what I'm saying? They're not perfect, but they the best we got. It's sad. It's sad. But we have to understand that you can't save everybody. Everybody can't be saved. And you're going to lose more people trying to save everybody. That's just the sad part. You would lose more people trying to save everybody. If a house is burning and you got a whole bunch of people in the house and you only got a limited amount of time to get everybody out of this burning building, should you waste your time trying to grab and fight somebody who doesn't want to leave instead of getting the people who do want to leave and who can leave and who can make it? But if you got people who are all like, I'm not leaving this house, it's sad. I'm going to miss you, but I can't force you to leave. And I can't waste this time this valuable time that I have to get somebody else up out of this house, fighting somebody who just don't want to leave. If you want to go down with the house, or if we could use an analogy with the ship, if you want to go down with the ship, what am I supposed to do? Force you kicking and screaming onto the lifeboat or out of the burning building instead of helping this person who want to leave? I can't do that. It's sad. I'm going to miss you. I am. But, if it's burning down, I have a responsibility to everybody else. That's just how it is. But as far as reparations goes, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we're not playing these games. We're not playing these games. We're more advanced. We're more evolved than we literally have ever been. Everybody's not going to come with us, and that's okay, and that's fine. We know that. But like I said, where's my pen? I see I moved my pen. Like I said, with the red pen energy we have, with the red pen, see our answer, we didn't have too many. We had some, like Dr. Anderson. We had some, but we didn't have too many people. We didn't have enough people with the red pen energy. But now we have a critical mass of people with this red pen energy. So we sitting up there deducting points from any and everything. We're just deducting points. We're sitting up there, nope, black and brown, nope, black and brown, nope, people of color, nope, marginalized, nope, nope. Nope, I don't see the word cash here. You always need to include the word cash, marking every single thing down. We keep this with us anytime the straightening needs to be done, anytime reparations business needs to be handled, anytime lineage business needs to be handled. We make sure we keep this red pen with us on all time. We keep it in our pocket. We keep it in our pocket right here. Anytime, like, oh, the red pen right there. We keep it on us. We keep it on us. We keep something else on us. We ain't gonna talk about that right now, but you know what I mean. But we keep this red pen on us. We keep it on us. Keep that red pen energy going with us. And with that being said, I appreciate every single last one of you all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all drop a red pen. Y'all say hashtag red pen energy in the comment section. I appreciate y'all. But I also need you guys to make sure that you guys like this or follow me, I'm sorry, on my various social media platforms. That is Afro Elite on Instagram and then the Afro Elite on X. And the links to both of those are in the comment section below, in the description below. I mean, also, shout out to Delilah for the Cash App. I saw it. I see you, sister. I see you. Thank you. And make sure that you guys, which I would appreciate, because we already got over 600 people. Okay. We already got over 600 likes. So thank you guys for that. So make sure that you guys hit that like button. Make sure that you guys subscribe, double check, make sure that you guys stay subscribed and hit that notification button. Hit that notification. And remember, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, that we keep in this red pen energy the entire year. And until we get reparations, hence now and forevermore, we keep this red pen energy with us, okay? Hold on. Let me put this in that red pen energy. Yep, we keeping this red pen energy with us. Going forward, red pen energy, that's how we moving. That's just how we moving. We keeping our red pen on us. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you guys so very much. Okay, we are coming together as a community. We are doing stuff nationwide as a community, as a unit. I appreciate the fact that with this channel, I can echo the voices of the brothers and sisters from across the nation who are handling lineage business. I salute them. I thank them for what they're doing. And I am honored to be able to echo their voices to resonate to everybody who might not be able to hear that from where they are outside of New York or California. So this is my responsibility and a privilege to do that. So thank you all for that. Thank you guys for the calls, the super chats, the cash apps, everything. Appreciate you guys. And thank you very importantly, most importantly, for watching and supporting. And with that being said, Black first to every single last one of you all. Thank you guys for watching, and you all stay blessed.